Hello there, welcome back to Theology of Prayer with Brother John A. Harden. We are on day 1 of week 2, aka week 8. Day 8. So we're going to start with the Hail Mary. We're going to start the Hail Mary chapter, we're not going to finish it today. If there is one vocal prayer which is typically Catholic, it is the Hail Mary. We say it so many times in different ways, but especially in recitation of the Angelus and the Rosary. By now we have said it some thousands of times. As we know, the present Hail Mary is really two prayers, one after the other. The Hail Mary, properly so called, in what not too many centuries ago was called the Holy Mary. Confessors will tell their penitents to recite, say 3 or 5 or whatever number of Holy Marys. We say it so many times, almost subconsciously, that if there is correspondingly any one vocal prayer that deserves to be looked more at closely, it is this one. My plan is to take this prayer in St. Queen's for word, or better, term for term, and a prolonged meditation on what its sentiments really mean. Hail Mary. This is no casual reading. It is more than a meaningless hello, and that the angel addressed to Mary at the Annunciation. The best rendition of the word hail is rejoice, be happy, and it contains a messianic reference to the joy that God has in store for man by becoming man. It is moreover an imperative telling Mary to be joyful that the dawn of man's salvation was at hand. The title Mary was Mary's before she was addressed by the angel. It means other things, Lady, corresponding to our English word Lord. Lord for Christ, Lady for Mary. She is then the Domina, even as he is the Dominus. It is in fact the real basis for Mary's queenship. She was to be the mother of the Lord of the universe and therefore queen of mankind. One of the most popular devotions in France, I am told, for some is now the devotion of Mary, Queen of the Universe. Makes sense if her son is Lord of the Universe. This is what the title Mary means. Full of grace. Our version of the Hail Mary is based on the Vulgate translation of the Bible. As you know, this translation was done by Saint Jerome in the early 5th century on order of Pope Saint Damasus I. It is one and only translation that has been formally approved by an ecumenical council of the Catholic Church. Not only approved, but declared by the council to be authentic, that is, this translation, I am speaking of the whole Bible, including this passage, contains accurately substance of God's revelation to man. There are, as by now we know, many other translations of the corresponding Greek words of the New Testament text, for example, so highly favored, or just highly favored, but these translations are merely verbal renditions of the Greek. They do not contain the fullness of doctrinal content that the Church considers to be contained in what is really meant by the words gratia plena. How, we ask, is Mary full of grace? She is full of grace because, first of all, because she was conceived without sin. Anyone who is in the possession of grace from the first moment of his or her conception will be without original sin. Mary was. Moreover, throughout life she received such an abundance of grace as no one except Christ had or will obtain. Again, she received grace not only because her life immaculate, but because it kept her absolutely sinless. She remained free from at least even indeliberate venial sin through all life. Then too, she received grace that kept all her desires under control. Unlike the rest of us, Mary had no unruly passions. She had desires, strong desires, but they were always totally submissive to her reason under the influence of the fullness of grace. Finally, and most emphatically, she received the unique grace of being invited to become the mother of the author of grace. That is quite graceful. The Lord is with you. This is a direct quotation from the Archangel Gabriel. How, we ask, was the Lord with Mary? He was with her by the grace of his friendship which she enjoyed. Notice the Lord was not only near her or in her, but with her. He is also with her by the faith that she had, in which God revealed about his Son coming to redeem the human race. St. Augustine, among other fathers of the Church, tells us that Mary had first conceived God in spirit by faith, before she conceived him in flesh by her body. It was her deep faith that, especially as far as we can use the language, invited the grace of becoming the Mother of God. The Lord was with Mary and remains with Mary by his astounding providence. God, we should tell ourselves, never gives any grace in isolation. He does not just, as it were, give grace, then walk away. The Lord was with her because he surrounded her with his care and arranged everything in her life to fulfill his providential purpose in her life. But we should then add that the Lord was with Mary because she was with him, and this was also before the Incarnation. That with implies a conjunction. You are not really with someone, whatever the preposition means, unless the person is correspondingly also with you. She, we may safely believe, was always thinking about God. She was also with him in will. She would always do what he wanted. She was with him in heart. As the evangelists record Mary's speech, we do not hear her speaking very often. Yet on a few occasions when the dialogue is recorded between Mary and her son, she expresses the most tender motherly affection. We may be sure that she thought of God a lot, as she did God's will, and she was speaking to him in sentiments of affection every time she could. Blessed are you among women. We now turn from what the angel said to Mary to how she was greeted by her kinswoman Elizabeth at the visitation. Said Elizabeth, of all women you are the most blessed. What does that mean? It means, first of all, that Mary was unique among all women in becoming a mother without losing her virginity. Mary was unique because she was the mother of the Messiah. Mary was especially unique among women because her child she carried in her womb was her creator. When she gave birth to Christ, she could tell him, or be speaking of him, say, "This is my body," because it was her that he took on human flesh. So we teach and believe, Caro Jesu, Caro Maria. When God decided to become man, he chose to take his flesh of a woman. Surely that mother was unique. Elizabeth does not merely say that Mary was unique among women. That is not what Luke tells us. Elizabeth calls Mary blessed, which means happy. This is two greetings of happiness in a row, of all the same chapter of Luke, one from the angel, another from her relative. Our Lady then was the happiest woman, in order to reassure us that God already wants us already in this life to be happy. And what is the condition of happiness? The one perfectly verified by Mary. It was her humble acceptance of God's will, her submission to his mysteriousness, and how mysterious designs. The greatest problem with God's mysteries is that really we cannot wrap our finite minds around the infinite mysteries of God. The mysterious God. The problem is that some of God's mysteries have to be lived. Mary lived in mystery, which means that she lived God's will without ever fully understanding why. On the two dramatic occasions when she asked questions, remember, one at the Annunciation and the other at the finding in the temple, reveal for all times what we need, especially to learn from this happiest of women, that she walked in darkness, the darkness of faith. Surely she believed, but that was what faith means. You believe without fully understanding. Mary's joy, therefore, was a result of Mary's conformity to the will of God. Now, it need be added, there is no other means available to man in this valley of tears to be happy. The secret is to do his will without demanding an explanation from God. So we are done with today, and we will finish the Hail Mary chapter tomorrow. And I hope you enjoyed that on the Hail Mary, and come back for the second half later. Goodbye.